Hello boys and girls, today we're going to be working with the multiplicative pattern. And the multiplicative pattern is based on multiplication. So the equation we're going to be using today is y equals a number x. And we know that this is multiplication because every time we have a number next to a letter with no operation symbol in between, that always means to multiply. And to really understand how this pattern works, boys and girls, we're going to be starting this off with a very short word problem. And let's go ahead and write it out. Each car has 4 tires. How many tires are at the parking lot based on this relationship? Okay. To be able to know whether this type of pattern is going to be multiplicative or something else, the first thing you need to do, boys and girls, is to find the action word. Can you all find the action word? Which word in there tells you that this is multiplication? If you said the word each, you're right. Each in this problem tells us that we're going to be multiplying, and we're going to be multiplying times 4. So our equation here is going to be y equals 4x, because we're going to be multiplying times 4. Now that we have our equation, we can go ahead and create a table. Our table today is going to have a title. The title is going to be tires, because that's what the problem is about. And we do have an X and a Y column. And remember, the X is always first. And the X in this problem is going to represent the cars. And the Y is going to represent the tires. And then I'm going to give you some values. Let's do 0 cars, 1 car, 2 cars. I'm going to extend my line here a little bit. 3 cars and 4 cars. Remember, the row is to times 4, times 4, times 4, times 4, times 4. Go ahead and pause the video now and go ahead and finish filling out those tables and those values. Go ahead and find the y values for these tables. Okay, if you got 0, 4, 8, 12, and 16, you're right. Now that we finished up our table, we can go ahead and create our ordered pairs. And remember, we need an X and a Y coordinate to be able to create a set of ordered pairs. And all we're going to do here is we're going to be taking those values from the table and putting them between parentheses. My first one is 0, 0, and that 0, 0 should ring a bell because that tells us something. 1, 4, 2, 8, 3, 12, 4, 16. And now that we have that set of ordered pairs, we can go ahead and create our graph. This is your x-axis, This is your y-axis. And right here, we have our origin, which is 0, 0. Okay, now we just need to set our little lines here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. My x values go up to the number 4, so if I go by ones, I'm going to have enough room for all of my values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now we're going to work on our y. Let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. If I go by ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and remember this is your y-axis, so it represents all these y numbers here. It represents all the y column. If I go by ones, which it would only go up to number 9, would I be able to graph the 16? I'm not going to be able to because the 16 is too big. What if I go by 2s? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. If I go by 2s, I'll be able to graph it. So we can go ahead and go by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, and 18. Now the only thing you have to be very careful about, because we did this, boys and girls, is that when you're doing your hops up, because we're going to go right on up, when you're going up, make sure that you're not going 1, 2, 3. You're going to count by 2s this time. That's the only thing you have to be very careful about. Okay, let's go ahead and set our first one. 0, 0. So I'm here at the origin. I'm going to go 0 units to the right and 0 units up. That means that I stay at the origin, and my very first point is going to be located at the origin. Moving on to the next point. 1, 4. I'm going to move 1 unit to the right, and I'm going to move 4 units up, but you need to be careful because we're not going by 1s up, we're going by 2s. So 2, 4. Now we're going to do the next one, which is 2, 8. So I'm going to go 2 units to the right, 1, 2, because I'm going by 1s. And then when I go up, I need to be careful because I'm only going up to 8, but I'm going to skip count by 2. 2, 4, 6, 8. Now the next one, 3, 12. 1, 2, 3. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now the next one, 4, 16. 4, and then 16. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Can you predict where the next dot would go? If you're saying it goes somewhere around here, you're right. What about the next one? Maybe somewhere over here? What about the next one? Maybe somewhere up here? You can't even see my pencil anymore because I'm off the paper. But yes, there is a relationship. And the relationship starts at the origin and it goes straight up. When you have a relationship that starts at the origin, goes straight up, you're looking at a multiplicative pattern. One of the key things is that it starts at the origin. Let's do another one. We're going to do one more example, but this time I'm going to be making a horizontal table. We need a little bit more practice with those. This is my X and that's my Y. 0, 1, 2, 5, 9. And the rule is going to be y equals 5x. Go ahead and pause the video and fill out the table. Okay, we are multiplying by 5, so times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. And then you should have 0, 5, 10, 25, and 45 as your final values for your y-axis. Now we need to take the numbers here and create our ordered pairs. And remember, we're going to need an x and a y coordinate for each one. And we need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I can just go to my x column and write down all the values for my x here. 0, 1, 2, 5, and 9. And then I'll write the y values next. 0, 5, 10, 25, and 45. And now that I have my set of ordered pairs, I can go ahead and create my table. My graph. Remember, this is your y-axis. This is your x-axis down here. And right here, where they intersect, is the origin. And we need 9 values in our x, and our y needs to go up to 45, so that number is pretty big. Chances are I don't have 45 lines. I'm probably going to have to skip count. But let's start with the x. The x is pretty easy. Let's see if we have enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I have more than enough. I can go by ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now let's see my values up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm probably going to have to use this little line here. 9. So let me just make my arrow extend a little bit higher. There you go. 9 is perfect. I need to get up to 45, and I have 9 lines. So if I go by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, that would be perfect. I'm going to be going by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. And why did I choose by 5? It's very easy. Because our rule is to multiply by 5. So if I follow that multiple, more than likely, I'm going to have all the values that I need. Okay, we're going to move right on up. Right on up. 0 units to the right, so I'm going to stay at the origin. And 0 units up, still at the origin. That's the first clue that this is a multiplicative pattern, because multiplicative patterns always start at the origin. Then we have 1 unit to the right. And then 5 units up, but remember that we're skip counting by 5s. So 5, and that's it. And then the next one is 2 units to the right. 1, 2, 10 units up. And remember that as we go up, we count by 5s. 5, 10. The next one is 5 units to the right. And then 25 up, but remember, we're counting by 5s. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Now the next one is 9 units to the right. 9. And then 45 up, but remember you're counting by 5s. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. And even though there's gaps between our lines, we can still figure out like where 0.7 goes. It goes somewhere there. And 0.8 goes somewhere here. And 0.3 goes right there. And 0.4 goes right there. Because there's a pattern, boys and girls. That's where you can kind of predict where everything goes. And we're going to represent that pattern with a line to represent the relationship. And again, the relationship that's being represented here is a multiplicative pattern. Okay, boys and girls. Now that we've done that, we've done 2 examples, and it really is a review from yesterday, but today we're working on multiplication only. Now that we've done these examples, now that you know how to use the vertical table and the horizontal table, and now that you know how to get the ordered pairs and from there move on to the table, and one of the key rules of knowing that this is a multiplicative pattern is that they always start at the origin. Now that you have all this information, boys and girls, you can go ahead and get started on your independent practice.